But yeah. Anyways, yeah, fucking Chris Brown.
So you were around for this. You want to give anybody?
Oh yeah, so I went to this on this was just day before yesterday from when we're taping, and this was interesting. Let's watch the clip. Hello to our one viewer. And
thank you, viewer, for existing.
Keeping us company. But again, this is, we do this for our own edification. That's why there's no commercials, people. There's no commercials. Yeah, it was this Yahoo shit. So Matt Gaetz and Marjorie Taylor Greene, they got canceled their venues. And these are decisions people are like, city council. It's like, no, like at least in the case of Riverside, it was the Raincross Hospitality Corporation who made the decision to cancel them after, I assume, getting significant pushback and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There might have been a conversation with someone, who knows, but ultimately the decision was made by the Raincross Hospitality Corporation, which does the booking, manages the convention center that is owned, right, by the city of Riverside, I guess. I'm not exactly sure what the deal is there. But yeah, so all these people who are always wailing about the right of private entities to do whatever they so choose,
That's been
just
my favorite.
Get canceled. But real quick, it's really significant. It may not seem like much. I was talking about this with some of the homies. May not seem like much, but I think it's really significant that this America First rally is proto-fascist, neo-fascist, nonsense, racist, transphobe, like homophobic. I mean, just misogynist, like kind of vibe. And rhetoric from people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Matt Gaetz. Folks can, if you're not familiar, you can look them up. I don't want to spend time describing their background.
I do think we need to take 2 seconds to also.
Well, just the fact that they got canceled in the OC, which should be quote unquote historically has been a stronghold for that type of thought. The fact that they got canceled twice, not once but twice, and also canceled in Riverside, and then had to do this free speech, unpermitted. That you don't have to apply for a permit or anything. You can just show up at this little free speech area by City Hall and do your thing there within reason, right? Peaceful assembly and all that. And so that's what they did. They showed up and were like, these communists got us canceled. And I was standing there, to be honest, laughing my ass off. I was literally laughing my ass off. I mean, it's alarming. It's concerning. It also used to be a lot worse in so many ways. So we have made progress in a lot of ways. But just, got to keep an eye on this stuff. Make sure it doesn't come back the way it used to exist. Yeah, it was wild. And that's really the main point I wanted to make sure to get across. I think it's really significant they got canceled twice in OC. You were saying, though.
Oh, no. I do think it's, worth mentioning that, people are canceling events with Matt Gaetz solely because of Matt Gaetz' current legal circumstances. Like any
whatever
private entity, I just don't know what world you can exist in and call yourself a conservative and be like, nope, a business should let that man walk in and use their stage right now. That's the Constitution.
Yeah. The cognitive dissonance and the hypocrisy is rife for sure. It's it's kind of ridiculous because it goes against, again, we could spend a lot of shows to unraveling this tangled ball of rubber bands. But needless to say,
it's worse than that, dude. You can untangle a ball of rubber bands. I think we're like untangling a ball of wax. It's like, why are you even untangling it? And you're like, we don't know. That's how they told us to do it.
Yeah, but there is an untangling. You know what I mean? Everything
being cynical,
right? Nothing happens. It occurs in a vacuum and all that fun stuff. We're all products of our environment largely, and our subsequent choices and circumstances. But anyways,
so Major Taylor Greene or whatever her name is.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, like a straight up QAnoner who somehow managed to get elected to Congress from Georgia. Then Matt Gaetz represents, he's this new member of Congress who, among other things, is getting in trouble for sharing nude pictures with other members of Congress on the House floor or whatever. It's just wild.
That's
it just sounds like some.
He's literally getting hit with
that's why
human trafficking charges.
Yes, that's why I said one small example.
Yet again, the QAnoners.
I think that says a lot.
The QAnoners are protecting
about
the
kind of
pedophile.
Yeah, quote unquote,
What
which is
happened to
again
when
such
we go
a
when
huge
we
part
go
of the
off,
rhetoric.
man?
Well, because it never meant that to begin with. Because that
Oh, I
was just a
know.
bunch
It's
of
such
nonsense.
insanity.
It's like it would be funny if it wasn't so sad and potentially dangerous.
No, blatantly
Um,
dangerous. It is blatantly dangerous.
Yeah. Although it's a lot. It's relative scale. Like a bunch of like nut. Like, and again, it's like, one nut job showing up at a pizza place is a lot different than a whole bunch of nut jobs. You see what I'm saying? Like, anyways, dangerous, right? Potentially very dangerous. Anyways, don't even get into semantics about it. But yeah, bad shit, right? But these, it's just it's some wild stuff. There's that documentary Axios or whatever.
Yeah.
It's on HBO or whatever. Folks haven't checked it out. Marjorie Taylor Greene is a QAnoner, and Matt Gaetz is an accused and hopefully, probably, I think, going to jail, sex trafficker. So yeah, those two from Florida and Georgia, respectively, are they got canceled trying to have a rally in Costa Mesa, and then it came to Riverside and got canceled, and then went to Anaheim and got canceled, and then they came back and did their free speech thing here.
Bro, they should have just hit up Tito Ortiz, man, and he could have gotten him booked down in Huntington, and it would have been a fucking good all time, dude. Tito would have
Yes.
fought all the Antifas.
This shit was hilarious, but the rhetoric was foolish and it was just nonsensical. But yeah, also as you're saying, very dangerous.